Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again, and today I just want to kind of get a few things off my chest about Battlefield 5. And as you can see, we're playing with the M1907 at the moment, which you can probably tell from the title of this video is the whole reason that I wanted to make it in the first place. I hadn't actually spent a lot of time with this gun, but when I picked it up the other day, it made me remember why I love this game so much, because it's a gun that takes a lot of skill to use, but most importantly, it's super satisfying when it works. And isn't that just a great way to describe Battlefield 5 in general? Now, to kick off, the reason I'm making this video is because I know a lot of you guys out there maybe aren't as happy with Battlefield 5 as you hoped you would be. And that's completely understandable because at the end of the day, it is a completely different approach to the franchise and maybe one that hasn't resonated with the community as well as it could have. I mean, personally, I really like the new, less casual approach to the game's core mechanics, which is completely different from what we saw in Battlefield 1 and the Battlefront series. But as you might remember, this was actually something that as a community we used to complain about, and so well done DICE, I guess, for eventually taking that feedback on board. But here's the thing though, what I've come to realise over the last few months is that the core Battlefield community has changed a lot since the days of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And basically what I think happened was that Hardline and BF1 caused a lot of those players to move on, and in turn they actually attracted a new player base which has since come in and almost replaced them. When I look around in the community now, what I see is a lot of players who only started playing this series in the last few years, and well, it's not surprising that they're asking DICE for different things than I am, because they've just never played what I would consider to be the best Battlefield games, and I know that's something DICE have really got to think about and try and remember when they're making Battlefield 2020. Now, what does this have anything to do with the M1907? Well, like I said before, I think this is one of the best examples of how Battlefield 5 got it right, because, like I said before, it's hard, but also super satisfying to use. And look, don't get me wrong, I think Battlefield 1 had a lot of challenging guns too, but I really don't think many of them felt very satisfying. Like, literally, I think I can count the ones that I actually remember on one hand. Obviously, the World War I theme was a big issue to begin with because automatic weapons were still very primitive at that time, and they weren't really used that often on the front lines anyway. But the main thing I think was that DICE really screwed up the core gunplay with random bullet deviation and unrealistic mechanics like reverse spread increase on LMGs and, of course, the infamous sweet spot mechanic on sniper rifles. What that basically meant was that a lot of the time you didn't feel like you were in complete control, and that led to more situations of what I like to call getting killed by BS. And not just that, but there wasn't any sort of weapon upgrade system in Battlefield 1, so there wasn't anything you could do about it if you didn't like how a weapon was working with your playstyle. Now, obviously, Battlefield 5 fixed both of those problems. Now you actually hit what you aim at, recoil is heaps more predictable, and not just that, but the netcode is pretty tip-top as well. And while it's not as good as the attachment system from Battlefield 4, at least with spec trees now, you can actually tweak the trickier guns like the M1907 and make them a little bit easier to handle. So, in a nutshell, just to sum up how I feel about the game right now, while everyone else is busy on Twitter complaining about how we need more maps and stuff like that, I'm just enjoying the gunplay. And that's not to say that I don't think that Battlefield 5 has issues, it's just that when it comes to the core gameplay loop, I really think it's probably one of the best games we've had in the franchise ever. This is actually a game that makes you want to play for more than a few hundred hours, and you see, that's actually a problem that we're running into right now, because unlike what happened with Battlefield 1, not everyone is moving on or going back to Battlefield 4, and not everyone is as satisfied as I am running around shooting people with the M1907 on the same 3 squad conquest maps. So basically, I think what's really clear from all of this is that DICE maybe need to stop being so ambitious when it comes to the core gameplay and maybe start doing a bit more cutting and pasting and focusing on more in-game content. Because if, say, for example, they throw another big spanner in the works and change things up again in Battlefield 2020, well, then we'll have 3 different groups of players in the community all fighting over what they think Battlefield should be. For me, though, I really think they've nailed the core gameplay down now, and so I really think they should stop here and start looking back at games like Battlefield 4 to see what made them so great in terms of content. And if they can do that, and most importantly, release it all in a stable state at launch, then maybe, just maybe, 2020 will be the start of another golden age of Battlefield. But anyway, guys, that just about wraps up this video, and this is obviously a pretty controversial topic, so make sure you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think that Battlefield 5 gunplay is the best that we've ever seen, or do you prefer, say, for example, the gunplay from Battlefield 1? Let me know what you think down below. As always, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. And also, don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later, and have a good one.